Hello, my dear students. So this is lecture number 3 of Principles of Management. We have completed lecture number 1, lecture number 2, and at lecture number 2, what we were doing? We were doing the nature of Principles of Management, right? So now we have completed till point number 2. I have said in previous lecture that we will start from point number 3. That is formed by practice and experimentation. This statement is pretty clear to us that the principles of management, that means the rules of management, that are completely formed on the basis of the experiences. Whatever experiences you will be having as a manager, you will observe the things and you will analyze the different kinds of events that were happening at the past. Then you will take the decision on the basis of that. So can we say that a manager can experiment different ways to achieve any organizational goal, and that will be based on the success of various experiments. Until and unless a new experiment will succeed, it is not possible to formulate the principles of management. So at first there is a need of the success of various experiments. Then only the final course of action, what will be the cause and what will be the effect, these two things can be determined. Okay, so cause was, for example, cause was there was some salary issues, that's why there was a lockout in the factory. Due to salary issues, there was lockout. An effect will be what? Production will become low, profit will come downwards, wealth of the organization, sustainability, all will come downward. So ultimately what will be the effect, students? The effect will be our organization will fall down. Now how to control this effect? I don't want these things to happen in my organizations. How to control that? We have to control the lockout strikes by the employees. So how can we do that? We have to see whether the employees are satisfied by the behavior of the organization or not. So if they are satisfied by the behavior of the organization, then nobody can be there who can able to stop the organization from making the profit. So how these problems can be sorted out? We have to see this. Then we will formulate some principles of management which need to be followed by every organization. If these principles are not being followed, then we can able to see that there are so many organizations in our country, in the world, entire world. So everyone is running smoothly. You can say that 5 to 10% of the organization can be there which are facing these kinds of issues, but all the big organizations are running smoothly. What is the reason behind this? Why there are a less number of lockout and strikes and all those things, haphazard things? Why this is so? Because the organization follow the principles of management. That's why. So those principles of management should be formed by using experiments or through practice. Am I clear or not? For example, when you will see this point later on, division of work. I am the only person of the organization. I want to do each and every work. From the beginning to the end, I want to do every work. Is it possible? Am I mad that I can do each and every work? Yes, it may happen that I may know each and every work, but I will not do because time is constrained here. 24 hours are there in our hand only. We cannot raise this 24 hours to 28 hours, so that by extra 4 hours I can achieve something extra. It cannot happen. So anything we want to achieve, that will be between this 24, so within this 24 hours only, not more than that. So that means I have to divide my work to different persons. Those I will divide this work, the persons will be known as the subordinates. This term will be used later. So to the subordinates, I have to divide my work. I have to delegate my authority. That yes, you just see Mr. A, if any transaction is between 10,000 rupees, if you want to do any contract with the third party, so between 10,000 rupees you can initiate your signature and you can do the contract. No need to ask to the top level of management. So I am delegating an authority to him, so that if I am having a business of $1 million crores, then how is it possible that I can take the calculation of 10,000, 5,000 rupees? I can take the responsibility of each 10,000 transaction. So I have to delegate the authority to my subordinates to do that for me, on the behalf of me. So that is formed by practice and experimentation. I think that it is pretty clear to you. Now, number 4, flexible. Okay. The principles of management are a set of guidelines. Okay. As in case of science, we know that this is the rule of the thumb. You have to maintain that every action has an equal and opposite reaction. Newton's third law, you cannot change that. But here you can change accordingly. It is flexible enough. If plan number A is not working, so let's move for plan number B. Why not? So I can able to change the principles as well. It depends upon the work, it depends upon the work culture, it depends upon the organization in which we are working, whether it is a small scale, whether it is medium or large scale. It depends upon that. What kind of products I am going to manufacture, I am going to produce. Is it a manufacturing concern or a service or a retail business? It depends upon this, all these things. So that is flexible. Number 5, mainly behavioral. It means a behavior is such a thing that entirely depends upon your culture. As in human behavior also, we know that there are certain morality, there are certain ethics that has to be maintained by each and everyone, right? So here also, the principles of management are formed to provide a better understanding of the relationship between the human and material resources. It is something different, because a human, here is machine, plant and machineries. So how to work with this? We have to work with the help of the machines. Now the computer technology, digitalized economy is there. So I cannot work in the traditional way by using the paper pen. I cannot do that. So what I need to do? I have to work with the machines. I have to work with the non-living elements, better to say. So if I want to work with this machine, with the raw materials, then what we need to do? There should be a proper understanding between this human, the machines, the materials. So these management principles pertains to human things but they influence the human behavior the most. That's why we can say that this is mainly behavioral in nature. For example, if we want to achieve maximum productivity from the workforce, the factory layout must ensure smooth movement of materials and workforce. No? For example, there are 4 departments in an organization, but the workers of department A, B, C, D want to transfer a goods from directly from A to D. If he has to move through this sequence, that may be late. So if there are no smooth working in the operations in a factory layout, it will become very much difficult to achieve the maximum productivity, because again I am telling that the time is only 24 hours, dear. We have to do each and every work within this 24 hours only. So we can say it's mainly behavioral. Number 6, cause and effect relationship. See, principles of management are generally based on what? About the observations, what you are observing, what you are experiencing. So basically, if you want to accomplish, I have told already that what is the cause and effect. To understand this, what was the cause of the happening and what will be the after effect of the happening, you have to understand this cause and effect relationship. So principles of management are based upon the observations and experiences of the past, isn't it or not? So a particular principle will be applied to a particular situation only, isn't it? Now, how this can be done? I want to achieve the organizational goal. It may be producing 1 lakh pens in the month of October. I want to achieve this. So how to do this? You have to set the targets and the appreciation rewards as well. What is appreciation reward? Do you know? That yes, dear Mr. A, this is your responsibility. You just divide the teamwork. Your team will produce 1 lakh pens in the month of October within 30 days. So you have to divide the work accordingly and divide it in such a way that a person who will produce more than 100 pens each day will get 2000 rupees extra. This extra is known as the appreciation. Or who will give the best productivity, who will show the best of the best, will be appreciated in front of every employees. We will perform a function, a seminar for him, so that we can distribute the prize to him for the best reward, for the best achiever. So these will ultimately, what it will do, this will motivate the sales executive to set the targets. Okay. So another point is number 7, that is contingent. That means it should provide a fair and equal opportunity to each and every employee according to equality. All the responsibilities will be assigned on the basis of the performance, because it is contingent in nature, or you can say contingent means dependent upon the given situation. Whatever be the situation, we have to work accordingly with that situation. So to achieve effective result, the management needs to be changed or applied creatively so that the requirements of the situation can be met with. So students, this is lecture number 3 of the principles of management, and I have completed the nature of principles of management. In the next lecture, lecture number 4, I will be moving with the next topic. So just complete lecture number 1, 2 and then 3 only. Okay.